West Ham are going into a crucial transfer window. Their best and most important player clearly wants to leave, and he has massive offers on the table already, and their team is filled with depth issues all around the squad, as they need to bring in lots of players to compete on multiple fronts. So here is West Ham's ideal summer transfer window, including end of contracts, sales, and purchases. Here's what West Ham should do about the players whose contracts expire this summer. The players that should be kept, but will leave on their own accord, I believe are Lucas Fabianski and Andrei Yarmolenko. The player they should not extend at all is Ryan Fredericks. Alfonso Areola and Alex Kral will go back to their parent clubs, and neither should be brought in permanently. And Mark Noble is going to retire from football. Therefore, I see them letting all of them walk. Here are the sales West Ham should make this summer. The first sale that should be made this summer is Declan Rice. I understand that Rice is West Ham's most important piece to their side, but he clearly does not want to sign an extension whatsoever, as he wants to join Chelsea. And right now, his value is at the highest it might ever reach. West Ham should sell him for £110 million to Chelsea, and use that money to build a team with massive depth, allowing them to compete in multiple competitions at once. He is their most important player, but if he is just going to leave in 2 seasons for free anyway, you might as well utilize his massive value and get a massive fee for him this summer to help progress your club into the future. The second and final sale that should be made this summer is Issa Dlop. Dlop is an injury-prone center back that when healthy is average. I think if a club is willing to buy him from West Ham, they should accept the offer and bring in 2 center backs that are much more reliable and less injury-prone. I see him being sold for £10 million this summer. Here are West Ham's needs this summer. The first need is a Declan Rice replacement, the second need is a starting striker, the third need is a starting center back, the fourth need is a starting goalkeeper, the fifth need is a winger that can play on either wing, the sixth is a midfielder for depth, and the seventh is a backup center half. Here are the purchases that they should make this summer. For the Declan Rice replacement, I see 3 possible options with Conrad Leimer, Yves Bissouma, and Florian Neuhaus, with my pick being Yves Bissouma, the 25-year-old Malian central midfielder from Brighton. Declan Rice, as I said earlier, is West Ham's most important player due to his defensive solidity, but also his great carrying ability and his press-proof ability, as opposition find it hard to take possession from him. Bissouma is exactly that player, as when he gathers possession, he rarely loses it, and he also can dribble forward and look to influence the attack with his dribbling ability. Also, he is very solid on the defensive side of the game as well, as he is very hard to dribble and pass around. He is a smart replacement that I see costing around £40 million this summer. For the starting striker need, I see 3 options with Andrea Bellotti, Sasa Kalajdzic, and Duvan Zapata being realistic options. For me, the best choice is Sasa Kalajdzic, the 24-year-old Austrian striker from Stuttgart. Kalajdzic is a tall and physically dominating striker that loves to hold up play for his team to help link the attack together, and is extremely hard-working in the press, which is what Moyes wants from his striker. He's also a good finisher, especially in the air, giving West Ham another aerial presence for opposition to worry about. There's a lot to admire about his game, and I think he is ready to make the jump to the Premier League. I think he would be the backup to start the season, but he would eventually take Antonio's starting spot, as I think he would be a nice piece to add to the board. I see him costing £20 million to bring to London this summer. For the starting center back position, I see 3 options with Adam Webster, Luis Felipe, and Nico Elvedi. For me, the best option is Adam Webster, the 27-year-old English center back from Brighton. Webster, when healthy, is an extremely solid defensive force that many clubs will covet, and I think he would be a very smart transfer move for West Ham to make. West Ham do currently have 2 quality Premier League center backs with Zuma and Dawson, but Webster could genuinely start over both of them because he's an incredible defensive presence. It might be hard to pry him away from Brighton, but he might want to be involved in some European competition. I see him costing around £30 million this summer. For the starting goalkeeper position, I see 3 options with Alfonso Areola, Sam Johnston, and Nick Pope. For me, the best pick for this position is Nick Pope, the 29-year-old English keeper playing for Burnley. When I think of the perfect keeper fit for West Ham, Pope is exactly that player. They need someone that is good at stopping crosses and someone that is also good at stopping shots, and also willing to come out of the box and sweep up chances. They do not necessarily need a keeper that is great at distribution, but can play the ball long when needed, and Pope is that player. They just simply need someone that can save as many shots as possible, and Pope is exceptional at that, especially with his great size. This is such an obvious move for West Ham to make to get their starting keeper for the next 5 to 8 seasons, and I see him costing around £10 million this summer, especially because they just got relegated. For the winger that can play on either wing, my two choices for this position are Jeremy Doku and Jesper Karlsson, with my choice out of the two being Jesper Karlsson, the 23-year-old Swedish winger from AZ Alkmaar. With Bowen, Benrahma, and sometimes Fornals on the wings, West Ham need to improve depth here if they want to compete better in multiple competitions. Karlsson can play on both wings, but he has the most experience on the left side, and he has put up spectacular numbers in the Eredivisie these past 2 seasons. He would fit in nicely with West Ham, and I really think he could be the player that takes over that left wing position full time in a season or 2 if he was to join. I see him costing around £20 million this summer. For the midfield depth piece, I see 3 options as well, with Sander Berge, Oral Mangala, and Tyler Adams being realistic options. With my pick being Sander Berge, the 24-year-old Norwegian midfielder from Sheffield United. He, on his day, is too good for the championship, and he should probably move up a division this summer, and I think West Ham would be a good fit. I think he could play in either midfield role in the double pivot for West Ham, as he is talented enough to be a box-to-box, as well as a defensive midfielder. Either way, I believe he would be a good fit overall, and I see him costing West Ham around £15 million this summer. For the final transfer move, which is a backup center back, I see only 2 options, which would be Connor Goldson and Daniel Armarty. For me, the best pick would be Connor Goldson, the 29-year-old English center back from Rangers. West Ham need 4 center backs to allow them to have the most depth possible, and if they follow my transfer strategy, Goldson should be that 4th center back. I could see him wanting to move to the Premier League, and West Ham would be a good option. Goldson is a perfect fit for a Moyes system, as he is excellent defensively and is pretty accurate at long passes, which is what he wants the most. The best part about this transfer is that it will be free, making this a perfect fit for West Ham this summer. Here is what the total transfer summary will look like. For the departures, it will include Fabianski, Noble, Yarmolenko, Ogbonna, Areola, Kral, Fredericks, Diop, and finally Declan Rice for a total of £120 million of player sales revenue. For the arrivals, it would include Yves Bissouma, Sasa Kalajdzic, Adam Webster, Nick Pope, Jesper Karlsson, Sander Berge, and Connor Goldson for a total of £135 million, giving a net spend of £15 million. This may seem like a lot of money, but due to them getting £120 million of player sales revenue, I see this being a possibility. For the final ideal West Ham first team squad for 22-23, it would go as follows. Pope and Randolph as keepers, Cresswell and Masuaku as left backs, Kufal and Johnson as right backs, Zuma, Dawson, Webster, and Goldson as center backs, Souček, Bissouma, Berge, and Fornals as midfielders, Vlasic and Lanzini as attacking midfielders, Benrahma and Karlsson as left wingers, Bowen as the right winger, and Kalajdzic and Antonio as strikers. I think this is a squad with much improved depth and could help them battle on 2 fronts more effectively next season.